How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of The Opinion, and this is the Super Bowl edition of my opinion on, obviously, the show called The Opinion. So definitely going to give you guys my opinion, but I also want to hear from you guys, and make sure you guys like and subscribe this video because or this audio video because I'm definitely want to put out more content and things like that. And so we're definitely gonna get this channel to grow because this is the channel that you guys want to tune into if you guys are making bets straight up. I'm going to be able to give you the opinion that's good. That's obviously going to lead you to success, because if you're betting money, I want you guys to be able to put that money in your pocket if you're betting and everything as well. So let's get right into it. I don't have a lot of time. I know you guys don't have a lot of time as well. So my prediction for the Super Bowl versus the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals, which this is actually kind of a home game, or not kind of, it is a home game for the Los Angeles Rams, although they have them as the road team. My prediction for this Super Bowl, I'm going with the Rams. I think the Rams are just the better team here. First of all, one of the things nobody's talking about, but I'm going to talk about it, is that, the Rams play in the best division in football. I don't know if people realize that. The NFC West was the only division in football where the NFC or AFC, they got three teams into the postseason. It was the only division in football that had three teams that had 10 wins or more. If you look at the NFC Championship game, look at what two teams were playing for the NFC Championship for the right to go to the Super Bowl. NFC West teams. Now, the AFC North is no slouch. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals won the AFC North, but the 49ers beat them. And the 49ers finished third in their division, and they finished first in theirs. And the 49ers beat the Cincinnati Bengals. They pretty much dominated the game right up until the end, and then it somewhat went to overtime as well. But at the end of the day, the NFC West is the best division. Not only did the Rams win the NFC West in the regular season, so it took them a while to win, because that just shows you how as loaded as the Rams were, they were not on top of the NFC West the entire year. But they won the regular season, but not only that, to get to the Super Bowl, they had to beat two NFC West teams to get to the Super Bowl. So one of the things I always say is that whoever wins the NFC West has a good chance to get to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. The NFC West teams NFC West teams have not been able to close and win the Super Bowl over the last 2 or 3 years. The 49ers losing to the Chiefs, and then obviously the same LA Rams again, somewhat of a different LA Rams team, losing to the New England Patriots back in 2018. But also, once again, like I said, the Rams, I think, are just a better team, even if they weren't playing in the NFC West. That just shows I just wanted to point out the NFC West factor, because that just shows that basically this team is battle tested. But they're just a better team, even when you take away the NFC West factor. Look at both sides of the ball. I mean, offensively, they've got Matthew Stafford. This is why they brought Stafford in, to be able to win, not to be able to get to this point, because I'm going to talk about that later, because they brought in Matthew Stafford to win a Super Bowl, because Jared Goff got him there. So if you lose, and I'm going to dig into that, if you lose, then people are going to say, well, Jared Goff got you here too. But they brought in they got Matthew Stafford, they got Sony Michel and Cam Akers at the running back position. Neither one of them are great, but both of them can do enough to get the job done. They got Cooper Kupp, who statistically is the best receiver of all time. Statistically. But maybe not athletically and ability-wise, but statistically he is. And then you've got Odell Beckham, who's still a really good receiver. I don't believe Odell is the same Odell that you saw that you have whenever he played for the Giants. But he's still a really good Odell Beckham Jr. You've got Van Jefferson, who is a young receiver that is coming up into his own. So the Rams have the weapons on offense. Then when you flip over to the defensive side of the ball, they got Jalen Ramsey, most likely the best cornerback within the game. They've got Aaron Donald, the best defensive lineman in the game. And they've got Von Miller, who is still a really good rush-in linebacker in the game. They got Leonard Floyd. And then they've also got Ashawn Robinson playing nose guard in the middle of that defense. And the Rams have a host of other guys that are really good defensive players on the defensive side of the ball as well. So when you just look at both sides of the ball, offense and defense, the Rams are the better team. Now, the unknown is special teams. And we'll see who has the better special teams if that maybe plays a factor. That's maybe what I'm not accounting for is special teams. Now, when you flip over to the Cincinnati Bengals and what they have, offensively, they have the weapons to be able to stand up to what the Bengals have, but unfortunately, what they don't have a really good blocking offensive line. And if you don't have a really good blocking offensive line, that is the weakness when you're playing against the Rams. Because if the Bengals are not able to establish a running game, which I don't believe that they will be able to, because the 49ers couldn't do it, and the 49ers are one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. So if the Rams come in with the same attitude that, hey, we got to stop the run first and then get the Bengals in obvious passing situations, the Bengals giving up a lot of sacks to other teams. I think they had they give up 9 sacks to Tennessee or something like that. So if they're going to give up 9 sacks to Tennessee, what are the Rams capable of doing? Now, on the flip side, if the Bengals are somehow able to keep Joe Burrow upright and not have him dancing in the pocket, like the late great Gregory Hines with tap dancing shoes, they might be able to do something because they do have weapons. I mean, they've got Joe Mixon, who's a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can take handoffs. You've got his backup, Samaje Perine. Both of those guys played at the University of Oklahoma. You've got Jamar Chase, who happens to be the best young receiver in the NFL, rookie, by the way. And then you've got A.J. Green, who's still a very, very good, savvy veteran as well. So if the Bengals can keep Joe Burrow upright, they might be able to make some noise. But I just don't see that because at this point in the season, you are what you are. If your offensive line gives up a lot of sacks, that I just don't really see you being able to do a whole lot to change that over the course of 2 weeks. Not unless they put in some type of scheme or something like that. But if the Bengals want to win this game, if I'm wrong, if the Bengals want to win this game, they got to take a page out of the 49ers book. They got to be a run-first team. Because that's how the 49ers pretty much own outside of the last game. That's how they own the Rams. They become a run-first team. They don't put themselves in obvious passing situations if they don't have to. And that's maybe the one weakness that the Rams have is that as much as I praise their defense, they are capable of being ran against. They are. It's not going to be easy, but it is possible. But at the end of the day, I just see the Rams being too much here. And the spread right now is 4 points. The spread was at 3.5, but at the time I'm recording this, the spread is at 4 points in favor of the Rams. So if you're taking the point spread, I think you should actually take the Rams in this point spread. If you're taking the Rams just straight up and you got some money on it, take the Rams. You got nothing to lose but your money. I mean, if you end up losing your bet, then hey, just hang your hat on that most people are probably taking the Rams in the point spread, in the money to win this game as well. So I've got the game at about a 31-20 type of game, 31-17 type of game. That's the type of game that I think that this is going to be. I have the Rams winning. That is my opinion. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win? And basically, why do you think that team's going to win? Because I've essentially given you my breakdown of why I think the team's going to win. Like I said, once again, I think it's just going to come down to the offensive line not being able to give Joe Burrow the time. Now, I will say this. If Joe Burrow, if the game's close, if the game's a whole lot closer than I think it is, and Joe Burrow's got the ball, in the fourth quarter, watch out. We might be seeing the next Joe Cool coming into his own here in the Super Bowl. And last but not least, I said I was going to touch on this, and now I'm going to touch on it. If you're the Rams, you got to win this Super Bowl. You cannot lose this Super Bowl because you don't have a lot of draft picks coming up in this next draft. You traded away you mortgaged off your future. You're so many millions of dollars over the cap. You have to win this Super Bowl, and getting to the Super Bowl is just not enough because Jared Goff got you to the Super Bowl. So all these announcers and things like that saying, well, this is why they brought in Matthew Stafford to get to the Super Bowl. Well, Jared Goff got you there. You didn't bring him in just to get to the Super Bowl. You brought him in there to win the Super Bowl. So if you're the Rams, you got to win. You got to win for so many different reasons. You're in the city of LA. They love winners. You got to win there. you basically traded away a lot of your draft capital in your future. It's going to be hard to bring back this same team next year. So if you're the Rams, if you're not as good next year as an overall football team, you can at least hang your hat. You can at least lean on things saying, well, hey, at least we won a Super Bowl last year, while we basically look to rebuild to get another one, and maybe in another couple of years. So if you're the Rams, you got to win. Matthew Stafford's got to win. If he doesn't, it's going to be a lot of heat coming down on these guys. They got to win for the city of LA. If they really want to get more fans supporting them, especially when they play the 49ers, if they want to have more fans in that stadium, when they play in SoFi Stadium, when they play the 49ers, they got to win. Matthew Stafford's got to win. The owner's got to win, because if you don't win and then you look up 2 or 3 years later and the Rams are just a shell of themselves and you got no title, it is going to be embarrassing. So that's what I will say about the Rams is that the option to lose is not on the table for you. It is not, because if you lose, believe me, I will have another video to say, or if the Rams lose, look for another video from me. And that's what I'll say. And I'm out.